Hello everybody, I'm Charlie, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my delicious homemade cornbread dressing from scratch. My recipe for cornbread dressing calls for a nice, moist, and flavorful cornbread dressing that you're going to love. It is absolutely delicious. Now this cornbread dressing is nice and crunchy on the outside and nice and soft and moist on the inside. Very good. Now this cornbread dressing has gizzards, ham, and a little chicken in it too. And you can also add sausage to it as well. Now, unlike some people who make cornbread dressing, my cornbread dressing is more a from scratch cornbread dressing. And here's why. My cornbread is from scratch, my chicken stock is from scratch, and all of my meat and seasonings are fresh and prepared right in front of you. So, we bring all that together and we have ourselves a holiday classic, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Okay, this is all what you're going to need to make your cornbread dressing, and we're going to get started with our ingredients. Okay, first things first, you're going to need a recipe for cornbread. Now you can either use your favorite cornbread recipe or you can either use my recipe for cornbread. But make sure if you are making a cornbread, make sure your cornbread is not sweet. And if you are making my recipe for cornbread, make sure you check the description box below on details on how to make this cornbread. Okay? Alright. And along with that, you're going to need some salted butter. Alright? And for our meat, you're going to need some chicken gizzards. This is about 1.5 pounds of chicken gizzards. Okay, so you're going to need that, and along with that you're going to need some chicken necks. Okay, and you're going to need about 1 pound of this. And what we're going to do with these chicken necks is we're going to use this with the chicken gizzards, and we're going to make a chicken stock. Okay, and these chicken necks will only be used in the stock to give the stock more flavor. Okay. Alright, and the chicken gizzards are going to be used not only as a stock but to put in your actual stuffing. Okay? Alright, and along with that you're going to need some diced ham. Now this is 1 pound of ham. Now normally I take my ham and I chop it up. I normally take a regular ham and chop it up, but to make things more easy for you guys, I just bought the cooked diced ham and we're going to use that. Okay? Alright. And the optional ingredient, you can use sausage for this recipe. Alright, if you are using sausage, you're going to need about 1/2 pound of this. Okay? Alright. And for your seasonings, you're going to need 1 yellow onion, 1 bell pepper, and some celery. Okay? Alright, and along with that you're going to need some sage. Now you can either use the fresh sage or the sage in the canister here. Okay? Alright. And along with that you're going to need some Chef Paul Prudhomme's Poetry Magic. Now this is only going into our stock just to give it a little extra flavor. Okay? It's not going into the actual dressing itself. Alright? Okay. And to bake our cornbread dressing, you can either use the 9x13 glass or metal pan, either one, or you can use the 10x13 inch glass pan. Either one will work perfectly for this recipe. Okay? Alright. Okay, and also for this recipe, you're going to need some chicken stock, and I'm going to show you how it looks. This is homemade chicken stock from scratch, not out of the can or the bottle or anything like that. And one of the key components to making a nice, wonderful, and delicious tasting cornbread dressing is to make a nice, flavorful stock. And all you're going to need is 4 cups of water, and you already have your gizzards and your chicken necks to make this stock. Okay? Alright, and also the key component to making this stock, you need a slow cooker. Okay? You can get the best possible stock with your gizzards and your chicken necks using this slow cooker, okay? Alright, so you can't really make your stock without this, so it is important that you have this, okay? Alright, and there we have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. Now we're going to go ahead and get started by crumbling our cornbread into a large bowl here. Make sure you use your hands. Do it the best way you can. And my hands is clean, by the way. Alright guys, and this is how it's going to look when you're done. And this is about 4.5 cups of crumbled cornbread we have in this bowl here. Now we're going to go ahead and chop up our seasonings. We're going to chop up 1 yellow onion. We're going to chop up our bell pepper. Going to make sure you remove the core out of the center. And you're going to chop that up. Alright, and we're going to chop up our celery. Make sure you rinse your celery off before you chop it. And we're going to chop that up. Alright, now we're going to remove our sage leaves off the stems. We're going to do it to all of the branches. Okay, we're going to take the leaves and we're just going to bunch them all together. And we're going to take our knife and we're just going to chop this real good. You want to chop it real fine, real good. Okay, until it resembles coarse crumbs, like how I have here. And there we have it. And that is it for our seasonings. Now we're going to prepare our meat. We're going to go ahead and remove our package of gizzards and our package of chicken necks. And we're going to place our gizzards and our chicken necks into a strainer. And we're going to rinse this thoroughly with cold water. Alright, and we're going to take each gizzard and we're going to cut it in half. Alright, and there we have it. Over here we have our ham, which we've already had cut into large chunks. We have our gizzards and our chicken necks. Now we're going to get started with our stock. Here is our crock pot. We're going to go ahead and add our chicken necks right on in there. And we're going to go ahead and add our gizzards. And along with that, we're going to add 4 cups of water. We're going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, now that we got that nice and mixed in, we're going to go ahead and add a ½ teaspoon of salt. And ½ teaspoon of Chef Paul Prudhomme's Poetry Magic. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. And we're going to cover this. And we're going to let this slow cook for about 8 hours. So you want to do this like late at night around 11, 12 o'clock. So that way your stock will be done when you get up. Alright, it's been about 8 hours now. And as you can see, our stock is now done. It's a nice pretty brown color. And look at that. Look at those necks. Look at that. Looks great. Chicken necks. Looks beautiful. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and have a taste. And the stock should taste good. And it is good. Nice and flavorful. Wonderful. Now we're going to go ahead and drain the stock into a bowl using a strainer. Alright, we're going to remove our chicken gizzards and chicken necks. And we're going to place those on the side. And there we have it, guys. Homemade chicken stock from scratch. Doesn't get any better than this. Alright, here we have our chicken gizzards and our chicken necks. Now, I made sure that I separated my chicken necks and my chicken gizzards. Alright, and as a little special bonus, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of the meat off of my chicken bones. And I'm going to place that on the side. And there we have it. We have some more meat to go into our stuffing. Alright, and there we have it. We have everything nice and prepared and ready to go. Now we're ready to make our cornbread dressing. So we're going to preheat our fire to medium-high heat. Alright, so in a large saucepan, we're going to go ahead and add a ½ stick of butter. We're going to let this butter melt. Alright, now that we got that nice and melted, we're going to go ahead and add 1 yellow onion, about a ½ cup of that. About a ½ cup of bell pepper. And a ½ cup of celery. Now you could add as much as you like. Okay. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and mix that in. And we're going to let this saute for about 6 minutes. Alright, it's been about 6 minutes, and our seasoning is pretty little translucent. It's kind of softened a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and add our meat. We're going to go ahead and add our gizzards. And to that, we're going to add our meat from our chicken necks. Remember that? Add that in there. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, now that we got that nice and mixed in, now we're going to go ahead and add our diced ham right on in there. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, now that we got that finished, we're going to go ahead and turn our fire off. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and add our cornbread crumbs right on in. Just add only half of it. Okay, only half. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. You want to carefully mix this in. You don't want to mix it fast or anything, because you don't want the cornbread to spill all on your stove. So mix it very carefully, okay? Alright, now that we got that mixed in, now we're going to go ahead and add the second half of the cornbread crumbs right on in there. And again, you're going to carefully mix this in. Take your time, don't rush. Carefully mix it in until it's well incorporated. Alright, now that we got that nice and mixed in, now we're going to go ahead and add 1 1/2 cups of the chicken stock. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and mix that in. And 1 1/2 cups of chicken stock is really all you're going to really need. Now you can add a little bit more if you like. Okay? But don't add too much. And this is how it's going to look. Nice smooth consistency. There you go. Now we're going to go ahead and add 1/3 cup of the sage. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. Now 1/3 cup is really all you're going to need. You can add a little bit more if you like. Alright. Looks like our cornbread dressing is now done. We're going to go ahead and have a taste. Y'all, it is delicious. It is good. Very good. Now we're going to go ahead and preheat our oven to 360 degrees. Now we're going to go ahead and take some butter, and we're going to spread that around the bottom and the sides of our pan. Alright. And we're going to take our stuffing mix, and we're just going to add that right into the pan. Alright, now that we got that in the pan, we're going to go ahead and spread that around the pan as evenly as you possibly can. Alright, and there we have it. Now it's ready to be baked. So we're going to place this into a preheated 360 degree oven, and we're going to bake it for about 35 minutes. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my timer to 35 minutes. Alright, time is up. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our cornbread dressing out of the oven after baking on 360 for 35 minutes. And there we have it, guys, and you can tell that it's done because it is brown on the edges. Now this is an optional step. We want to make it a little bit more brown at the top, so we're going to place it into the broiler part of our oven for about 2 minutes. Alright, it's been about 2 minutes now. And there we have it, guys. Cornbread dressing. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a little spoon and just press down. And that'll let you know that it's done. It's nice and soft in the inside. And there you have it, guys. Cornbread dressing. Thanks for watching. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. Have a little bit of this. Boy, this cornbread dressing is rolling. Oh, man. It's nice, it's soft, slightly crunchy on the outside. Then you have the chicken stock. Like I said, remember I told you chicken stock gives this flavor. Oh, real good. Oh man. Then you have that sage to give it a nice little kick. It's real good. And the sage is it's just mild. It's not overpowering. Just a light, mild flavor. Very good. And there you have it, guys. Homemade cornbread dressing from scratch, made by New Orleans native. Thanks for watching. Hey y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like up, subscribe to my channel so you can enjoy all of my delicious recipes cooked right here in my kitchen. If you have any questions or comments, please post them, or you can email me at charliethecookandrews@gmail.com. You can also contact me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/charliethecookandrews. And last but not least, you can also check this recipe along with all of my other recipes at www.charliethecookandrews.webs.com. And until then, take care, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.